Welcome to Just One Day, the channel dedicated to travel enthusiasts seeking unique and exciting experiences to explore the cities of the world in just 24 hours. In this video, we will take you to Paris, the city of love, one of the most visited European capitals and certainly a destination to be experienced at least once in a lifetime. As the capital of France and the Île-de-France region, it is one of the most beautiful cities in the world, captivating primarily for the exceptional richness of its cultural and architectural heritage. A living heritage, both ancient and contemporary, continually enriched by new inspirations. But Paris is also the capital of gastronomy, fashion, and shopping, a city in constant motion, an innovative and bold metropolis that continues to play a prominent role in the new millennium. Paris pays close attention to quality of life and sustainable development, offering both its residents and tourists a particularly pleasant urban environment. With a population of 2,229,095 inhabitants, it is the fifth most populous municipality in the European Union after Berlin, Madrid, Rome, and Bucharest. Considering its municipal area, Paris possesses one of the highest population densities in the world. However, the urban extent of the French capital is much broader than its municipal territory. Its metropolitan area, in fact, is home to approximately 12 million people. Even though for everyone it's the city of love, Paris may not be the most romantic capital in Europe. However, it is a bohemian city full of charm and culture, and a stroll between Montmartre and the Champs-Élysées is always worth it. But what kind of climate do we encounter in Paris, and when is the best time to go? Let's discover it together. Paris has a continental climate, with more frequent precipitation in winter and less frequent but more abundant rainfall in summer. Keep in mind that during the warm season, sudden downpours that cool the temperatures are not uncommon. Winter is cold and summer is hot, especially given the high smog levels covering the city. Best period: from May to September, with a preference for May and June. Paris is enjoyable at all times, but in these months, the days are long and the heat is not excessive. Period to avoid: from November to February. In addition to rain and cold, there is little sunshine. However, it is beautiful at Christmas. Paris is one of the most expensive cities in Europe. However, by planning your visit in February, September or November, or between March and May, you can save up to 30%. Away from the holidays, the city is less costly but still fantastic. There are truly many things to do in Paris. Unfortunately, with only one day available, significant sacrifices will have to be made, but by strolling through the neighborhoods, you can still experience that Parisian atmosphere that makes this city unique worldwide. Here are our tips for a one-day itinerary in Paris. The itinerary covers the main stops in Paris, excluding attractions and museums such as the Louvre or the Palace of Versailles, which would require too much time for a visit. The itinerary starts at Place du Trocadéro, the best spot to admire the Eiffel Tower, without going to the top. From here, you can then reach the Arc de Triomphe, another symbol of Paris, and enjoy a stroll along the Champs-Élysées. Next, head to Place de la Concorde, where you can walk through the Jardin des Tuileries and take a photo of the famous Louvre glass pyramid. From here, a short walk will take you to the beautiful Notre Dame Cathedral, which can be visited from the outside due to the devastating fire that destroyed much of it in 2019. Take advantage of the walk to get a glimpse of the Seine bridges like Pont des Arts and Pont Neuf. After lunch, take the metro to the Montmartre district, a symbol of the Belle Époque, where you can stroll through its streets and visit the Basilica of the Sacred Heart. Finally, in the evening, we recommend booking a show at the Moulin Rouge or, alternatively, taking part in a dinner cruise on the Seine and admire Paris all lit up directly from the river. First step: Place du Trocadéro and Eiffel Tower. The morning of this day in Paris can only begin at Place du Trocadéro, one of the best vantage points to admire the Eiffel Tower. Regardless of your starting point, Trocadéro is easily accessible by metro, nearest station: Trocadéro, lines 6 and 9. This square serves as the gateway to the Place de Chaillot, also known as Trocadéro, which houses the Théâtre National de Chaillot, the Musée de l'Homme, the Musée de la Marine, and the Site de l'Architecture et du Patrimoine. From here, you can take the classic postcard photo with the Eiffel Tower, a symbol of Paris known worldwide. Unfortunately, with only one day available, there isn't enough time to ascend to the top. If you absolutely cannot miss it, the only option is to include it in the itinerary with a skip-the-line ticket for direct access to the elevator, taking you up to the second floor. But be aware, even in this case, it will take about 2 hours. Just one day tip: start your day with a French crepe overlooking the Eiffel Tower. What's better than enjoying a warm crepe while admiring the Eiffel Tower? In the gardens of Trocadéro and the surrounding areas, you'll find several creperies. Don't forget the photo with the crepe and the Parisian symbol in the background. From Trocadéro, head to another undisputed symbol of Paris: the Arc de Triomphe. We recommend reaching it on foot, strolling along the elegant Avenue Kleber, one of the 4 main roads converging directly towards the Arc, 20 minutes. Alternatively, you can also take Metro Line 6 from Trocadero to Charles de Gaulle Étoile, 6 minutes. The Arc de Triomphe was commissioned by Napoleon Bonaparte to celebrate his military achievements and is undoubtedly a must-see. Besides the classic photo in front of the monument, take a few minutes to admire it up close. Here, you'll find the eternal flame burning for 100 years, and on the walls, you can read all the names of French battles and victories. Visit information. Open from April to September 10 o'clock to 2300 hours, from October to March 10 o'clock to 22:30. Consider the climb to the top. If you have enough time, consider a visit to the terrace of the Arc de Triomphe, offering an incredible view of Paris. But be cautious, as it requires climbing 284 steep steps. From the Arc de Triomphe, the only road to reach Place de la Concorde is the magnificent and famous Champs-Élysées. This elegant avenue is perhaps the most famous stroll in all of Europe. Walking its entire length to Place de la Concorde takes 30 minutes on foot, 2 kilometers. If time is tight, you can walk a portion and then take Metro Line 1 that runs underneath the entire avenue, reaching the Concorde station. The Champs-Élysées is undoubtedly the symbol of Parisian elegance. This long tree-lined avenue is adorned with well-kept gardens, restaurants, renowned luxury shops, and elegant buildings overlooking it. During the Christmas season, the magic intensifies with 1,000 lights decorating all the trees. Don't miss Ladury's macarons. Along the Champs-Élysées, at number 75, you find the famous Ladury pastry shop, known for its marvelous French macarons in various flavors. Inside, you can also find many French pastries, such as the eclair. Its boxes and packaging are also very Instagrammable, a must for updating your Instagram profile. Once you reach the end of the Champs-Élysées, you find yourself at Place de la Concorde, one of the most famous squares in all of Paris. If you approach it on foot, you'll first have to cross the Jardins des Champs-Élysées, while the metro station is right under the square. The square has always represented the center of city life, hosting both events and demonstrations, but in the past, it was also the site of executions and uprisings. In the center stands a tall Egyptian obelisk. From here, cross the Jardin des Tuileries, the oldest garden in Paris, get directions in typical French style. After passing under the Arc de Triomphe du Carrousel, you find yourself in front of the Grand Pyramid of the Louvre, one of the most well-known museums in the world. Of course, you won't be able to stop and visit it inside, as a visit requires at least half a day, but a photo in front of the pyramid is an absolute must. Is a whirlwind visit to the Louvre on your agenda? There's a solution. If you can't resist the idea of seeing the Mona Lisa in person, there's a special ticket that includes fast-track entry, skip-the-line access, and a visit to the Mona Lisa, all in just 30 minutes. If you want and can stay longer, you can choose the 2-hour guided tour, also with skip-the-line option. Once you've taken a photo of the Louvre Pyramid, stroll along the Seine, admiring the numerous bridges, especially the beautiful Pont des Arts and Pont Neuf. Walk across the latter, and in about 15 minutes, you reach Isle de la Cite, the small island in the center of the Seine, where the magnificent Notre Dame Cathedral is located. The cathedral, built between 1163 and 1250 in Gothic style, becoming one of the first cathedrals ever constructed in this manner, is one of the most beautiful in the world. Inside, it houses significant relics, including an L from the cross on which Jesus Christ died, and the crown of thorns. Unfortunately, the church is currently closed, and who knows for how much longer, due to the terrible fire that destroyed much of it in 2019. During the hours when the fire could not be contained, the spire collapsed first, followed by the roof. Fortunately, most of the sacred furnishings and artworks inside were almost all recovered. After lunch, it's time to explore one of the most characteristic neighborhoods in Paris. In this case, we advise against walking, as you'll need to cover 4.5 kilometers. Use the metro. From Site Station, take Metro Line 6 and get off at Barbes Richechau to find yourself in Montmartre, the symbol of the Belle Époque. Take your time to wander through its streets, immerse yourself in its atmosphere, listen to the musicians, and treat yourself to a portrait by street artists. In the neighborhood, you'll also find the marvelous Basilica of the Sacred Heart. Located on a little hill, from the top, the view is truly wonderful. You can reach it by funicular or by following the historical staircase, which is very picturesque. Once you arrive, we recommend climbing to the dome to admire the panorama. Visit info. Basilica of the Sacred Heart open every day 6:30 to 22:30. Capture a photo at Le Mur de Gitame. A must-see in the neighborhood is the Mur de Gitame, a 10 meters by 4 meters wall created by artist Frédéric Baron, in collaboration with Claire Quito. Here, the phrase "I love you" is written in 311 languages and dialects. It's a highly Instagrammable spot, so taking a photo is a must. For the evening, we recommend staying in Pigalle, the southern part of the Montmartre district, where the famous Moulin Rouge is located. Book a show to witness a fantastic performance in one of the planet's most renowned clubs, featuring dancers and international singers every night. The Moulin Rouge is the most famous of Parisian cabarets, a symbol of the Belle Epoque and a temple of the French cancan. It can no longer be considered just a venue, rather, it's a true institution. Alternatively, if you don't want to spend the evening at the Moulin Rouge, we suggest heading back towards Place de la Concorde for a dinner cruise on the Seine, ideal for enjoying the illuminated beauty of Paris. From Montmartre, you can take Metro Line 12, boarding at Abysses and getting off at Concorde, 15 minutes. Planning an evening at the Moulin Rouge? Here are some details. The shows typically last 1 hour and 50 minutes on average, with the first one starting at 9 p.m. and the second at 11 p.m. It's also possible to have dinner earlier, starting from 7 p.m. For special occasions like Valentine's Day or New Year's Eve, special events and menus are organized, but booking well in advance is necessary to secure a spot. Activities and ideas for alternative itineraries. Paris is a city rich in wonderful things to do. A month wouldn't be enough to see it all. Starting with world-renowned museums, which deserve at least half a day each. The Louvre, the Musée d'Orsay, and the Centre Pompidou are must-visit attractions. If you're not easily impressed, explore the catacombs of Paris and the Père Lachaise Cemetery, where you can find the graves of figures like Jim Morrison, Oscar Wilde, and Marcel Proust. If you're traveling with children, there are plenty of activities to keep them entertained. With just one day available, careful planning is essential. The highlight could be a full day at Disneyland Paris, available with the Disneyland Paris Express package including transportation and admission. If you stay in the city, there are numerous parks and gardens. Le Jardin des Plantes, Le Jardin du Luxembourg, Bois de Boulogne with its adventure park, Les Jardins du Trocadero with a Scenic Aquarium. Museums also offer tours and workshops for kids, so you can combine both interests. Another top spot is the Académie de la Magie, the Museum of Magic in Paris. Before you depart, useful tips: use public transportation. With only one day available, getting around on foot is impossible. We recommend purchasing a daily pass by skip-the-line tickets. If your itinerary includes visits to indoor attractions, skip-the-line tickets are essential to avoid wasting hours waiting. Don't skip the cruise. A cruise on the Seine is one of the most beautiful activities in Paris. Booking an evening tour won't take time away from other attractions. Instead, you can enjoy the illuminated city. Consider the tourist bus. Paris is a truly large city. If you prefer a general overview without dwelling on individual attractions, the best solution is the tourist bus, which completes a full circuit of the city. Treat yourself to a quick lunch. With limited time, opt for a quick meal in one of the typical bistros or grab a baguette. You have plenty of time to enjoy dinner in the evening. Bring a sweater. Even if it's warm, bring a sweater or suitable clothing to visit places of worship, such as the Basilica of the Sacred Heart, or to cope with the air conditioning in museums. Consider a day trip. If you've already been to Paris, dedicate half or a full day to the surroundings. Unmissable options include Disneyland or the Palace of Versailles. Useful tips. The best neighborhoods to stay in Paris. With limited time available, the best neighborhood to stay in is the Louvre, in the first arrondissement, the most central of all, overlooking the Seine. If you're looking for nightlife, then you'll have a wide choice. Among the most beautiful and lively are definitely the Latin Quarter, home to the University of the Sorbonne, the Bastille District, rich in nightclubs and one of the most picturesque in the city, the Montmartre District, the Artists' Quarter, lively both day and night, and Pigalle, with the Red Light District and the famous Moulin Rouge. If you want to save money without giving up a bit of fun, we recommend the Belleville neighborhood. If you're traveling with family or seeking tranquility, one of the best neighborhoods to stay in is Opera, near Louvre. It's a very elegant area with all the amenities. The Le Marais district is also wonderful, elegant and fashionable, as well as the Saint-Germain-des-Prés district, not far from the Musée d'Orsay, and Grenelle, a neighborhood located a short walk from the Eiffel Tower. French cuisine and its delicacies are known worldwide. However, we are inclined to think that eating in Paris means only savoring refined dishes cooked by great chefs in luxurious restaurants. Wrong. The French capital is not only enchanting, but also an excellent place to indulge in indulgences accessible to everyone. Can you list the best? No problem, we'll introduce you to some of the specialties you absolutely must try in the Ville Lumière baguette, absolutely unmissable, a true must. Forget about those you've eaten in Italy or elsewhere. The real French baguette is something sublime. It's not just bread, it's an institution and has recently been included among the intangible cultural heritage by UNESCO. Its delicious crust and soft interior will drive you crazy, especially when freshly baked. Whether filled or not, it's simply a masterpiece. Remember, the real one is made with only 4 ingredients: water, flour, yeast, beer or sourdough, and salt. Croque monsieur and madame, you'll find it in cafes and bars with extreme ease. However, don't be fooled by its simple appearance of a stuffed sandwich, because it's a true explosion of goodness. It's called Bite the Lady quote, but it consists of a grilled toast with ham and cheese, usually emmental or gruyere. Its more elaborate version also includes bechamel. There's also a feminine variant, croque madame, with the addition of a fried egg on top. Croissant. Think of France, and after the word baguette, you immediately think of a croissant. A sweet delight of leavened puff pastry and butter, lots of butter. A palate joy that you won't be able to resist trying and buying several times a day. The croissant, literally crescent, is so named for its crescent moon shape. According to various popular and incorrect stories, this typical French pastry has this shape thanks to a baker who, while working at night, heard the noise of the Turks digging an underground tunnel. As a reward for saving the city, he received the exclusive right to produce crescent-shaped pastries to commemorate the event. Pay no chocolate, it will literally drive you crazy, and you want to eat it again and again. This delightful treat, absolutely wonderful when freshly baked, is a kind of buttery square croissant rolled up with one or more bars of chocolate. Just the thought doesn't already make your mouth water. Soup gratiné à grave l'oignon. It's not a simple onion soup but much more. It's a delicious dish from the French tradition, an absolute must-try in its Parisian gratin version. Don't be fooled by the word soup, because it's not a simple broth, but a substantial dish of peasant origin so tasty that it's present in practically all high-class restaurants and prepared by great chefs. The ancient tradition dictated that it be eaten in bistros near les halles, the general markets, at dawn after a night of revelry. Even today, some of these places, open all night, serve this delicious soup. Crepes, a symbol of French cuisine, impossible not to love. You can find them in both sweet and savory versions, and they are absolutely delicious. Perhaps not everyone knows that the name comes from ancient Latin crispus quote, meaning rolled, because the dough, once filled, must be expertly rolled up on itself. In France, it's undoubtedly a traditional dish that tourists and Parisians love to eat in specific restaurants. Creperies. However, you can also enjoy them thanks to mobile kiosks present on every corner of the city. There are many varieties of crepes, but undoubtedly, the most famous is the crepe Suzette, filled with orange sauce and flambéed with Grand Marnier liqueur. Omelette. The name already reveals its clear French origins, and in the Parisian one, the secret lies not so much in the ingredients but in the cooking. First of all, butter is used instead of oil, and it's cooked only on one side, not flipped, otherwise, it would be the equivalent of a frittata, thus maintaining its soft consistency. Finally, the mixture to be poured into the pan is made with eggs and milk. They are generally filled with ham and cheeses and a sprinkle of aromatic herbs. Foie gras. Foie gras is goose or duck liver, a highly sought-after dish and essential at banquets of a certain relevance. To prepare it, you must be very careful not to ruin the meat, which is very delicate, while separating the connective tissue. Then let it marinate for at least 24 hours with brandy, salt, sugar, pepper, and spices, and then cook it in a bain-marie. Then lower the temperature by putting it in a bowl with ice, and leave it in the fridge for 24 hours. We have reached the end of this unforgettable day here in Paris, the city of love and light. I hope you have enjoyed yourselves as much as we have during this exciting tour through the hidden treasures and wonders of this incredible city. Just One Day says goodbye and reminds you to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next adventures exploring the world in just 24 hours.